Generic greetings! The night is setting in Genericsville and all the lights pop on, which means that half the city will shut down because we don't have enough power. Actually, do we have enough power? Let's have a quick look. Actually, yes, power availability is okay, probably due to the extra windmills and stuff that I put in on the last episode. As you can see, we've got these advanced windmills, I think they're called. Advanced wind turbines, my apologies. And they have solar panels on, as well as these weird spinny fan things, which I don't know if those are actually in use anymore. I know that like vertical windmills and stuff didn't really take off that well because they actually took a lot of energy to start if it was low wind and stuff. So either way, we don't really care, to be honest. You don't care, obviously. They're put in and they are generating power, which is most good. We do have to have these horrible lines going to. In fact, they are horrible in general, and people have pointed this out that you know, they don't look that great, but they generate power, which is all good. And there's a night train there as well. Very, very nice. Anyway. In the previous episodes, we managed to get this new district done, and it's not too bad at all. You can see that there is a nice little like turn off here, which some people said, oh, you've messed up the one-way system. I did originally, but I did fix it at some point, and well, it's all working. People are coming on and off the highway and stuff, so it must be okay. And then it goes down to a couple of different sections. If we go over to our zoning, we can see that we've got a high density residential coming down here. This area in the center is high density commercial, yes, and then this one is nothing, so we'll be changing that at some point in this episode. We've also got offices as well here, so we've pretty much got all of the high density stuff. What we want to do as well, we also got, just continuing on the theme of explaining what's happened, we also got some other things put in around here. We got a railway station. We managed to do a lot of railway stuff as well. Some people have mentioned that, because I can't go over the railways, some people have mentioned that you can actually go over there with a level crossing. They said, do you know you can have a level crossing? No, I did not know you could actually place a level crossing. And yes, you can. You literally just go to the roads and, yeah, you can just do that and you build a level crossing. And I didn't know that at all. I really didn't. But to be fair, even if I did know, I still wouldn't have changed anything because all the stuff that we went over was like really big roads, and you wouldn't want a level crossing when it's got very high traffic like this. When it's got maybe a 2-lane road, something like that, it's not too bad, but you wouldn't want a level crossing on a road like this because it would just back up very, very quickly. So tunnel is probably the best way to go. Anyway, what we're going to be doing in this episode, and probably the next couple actually, is essentially building around here. So we need to do a couple of things. We need to worry about this area where we're going to have more houses. We want to add more high density residential around here and probably more commercial around here as well. So we shall crack on with that. We've got a bit of money, which is fine. We are going to progress very soon over to... Oh, no, that's Capital City. Capital City is... Yeah, well, you need 26,000 to get Capital City, in which case you get ships and such, which is all good. Actually, no, I'm talking crap. We're going to Big City. That's it. Capital City. I've been checking the other ones out, which is why it's scrolled along. Big City is what we get next on 13,000, and we get a crematorium and also a water treatment plant, which is good, and another 2x2. And what we'll be doing is using that 2x2 to buy this block here. We'll put a dam at the end because we do need to raise the water level a little bit around here, but that's going to be an interesting thing to do. And then we'll get rid of a lot of these outpipes and stuff to try and fix all of the sewage. Obviously, all over here as well, we've also got a bit of an issue because there's a lot of workers, well, a lot of people that are not working. So I think what we need to do, go to transport. We need to get some bus routes because at the moment we have, in terms of buses, if we go over to, actually we're on bus routes, aren't we? Buses, yes. So we've got a bus station, we've got a bus station, we want a bus stand. We haven't got any buses around here, which we need to sort out. And we certainly haven't got any buses going from here over to here. So the high density stuff around here doesn't do anything. So we need to resolve that. So let's crack on. Let's start building a bus that goes pretty much all the way around here. And the best way to do it, I think, is to simply do this. Just go all the way around. Get the buses up and running. So we can have like a nice little route. Can we stop on that side? We cannot. And... there we go. There's a nice little route. And we haven't got around here as well, so we'll do the same sort of deal, but this will go the other way, as you can see, and it's going to make people very, very happy, because then they've got more buses. And they don't really go around this train station, although realistically you would go near that train station, wouldn't you, to pick people up. That probably makes sense. And then we'll go around here. Now, obviously, a lot of this is not actually built yet, but that doesn't matter, because eventually it will, and then... that will make everything good. Because, obviously, when this is built, it'll work out. What's that? Is that a taxi? That is a taxi. Excellent. We haven't got another taxi. We should probably put another taxi ranking, actually. We've got a tram depot as well. A lot of people have been asking for trams, and I'm not sure that that's a good idea. I don't think building a tram is... I don't think it's going to be good at this point. We haven't, however, got this as well. This is a metro station, and people said, why don't you put a metro station in around here? And I actually think that's not a bad idea. Putting a metro station in will obviously make some noise, but having it around here, and then having just a tram that goes into the city centre, like around here, is probably a good idea. So we'll put a tram in there. Sorry, it's a metro station. Metro station in there, and then a metro station in... there would be nice, but as you can see, it's a little bit problematic because of the way the land is. In fact, it's very problematic because of the way the land is. Probably there. We'll have to delete a building, but it doesn't matter. And then obviously Metro Tunnel will go from there, and we will essentially build it along and round. Can you curve it? I assume you can curve it. Yes, you can curve it. That's excellent. Okay. And then, well, what we'll have to do, we'll have to make sure it curves over and around like that. There we are. And then the tram is essentially there, over to there. That is the tunnel. And then back again. Can you actually go back? Yes, you can. Literally back and forward. That's all it does. It goes back and forward. Excellent. So we now have a metro tunnel. There it is. And can we go inside? Let's see if we can go inside. And slowly down and in and down and no, hang on. No, just little taps of the key, little taps of the key, little taps of the key. Almost there. Taps of the key, little tap, little tap. We're in the ground. Back, back, and damn it, down, 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 and no, you can't. You can't go in the metro tunnel. It doesn't work. It's essentially just a toilet for homeless people. Okay, right, so we can't go in there. But we know that it will be used, hopefully not for the thing I've just mentioned. So, not bad at all. Excellent. So, that's out of what? I thought that was out of water then. No, not enough educated workers. That's an interesting one. Let's just have a look at schooling, and we can see that education is not too bad. Elementary schooling is problematic. We don't have any around here at all. In fact, anything around here we don't have. In fact, someone did call this the fire district in the last episode because there is no fire station around this area. Yes, that is a bit of an issue, I will confess, so I'm going to put a fire station in here. And we'll probably put some around there as well. I think probably on this corner would do the job quite nicely. There we go. Also, police station. We haven't got one. We will put one probably over this side. Although we could have a police headquarters because we don't have one yet. And it would be a nice thing to have. We'll put it there. There we are. Right next to whatever that shop is. And we don't have a prison as well. And a lot of people said we should have a prison. I actually agree with you. What I was thinking of doing is actually raising the land up on one of these bits here. And then having a road go to it. I think that would be an interesting thing. And... yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll raise the land up on where this water bit is, and we'll put, like, essentially, like Alcatraz 2, the Alcatrazing, like, in the middle of this lake, and we'll put the prison there. I think that'll be a nice touch. It would look cool. Anyway, so, we haven't got any education in terms of, well, primary school, well, elementary school, secondary school, and also university, really. We do need some more university stuff, I think, at some point. We also need some more... I think secondary schooling around here as well. No, actually, it's not too bad. It's going to have to go around here. So let's crack on with that. So, these roads are a 2-lane road. There we go. 4 lanes road, sorry, with decorative trees, but it's 2 lanes either side. And then we'll have, from here, curvy road. And it'll curve round like so. Right, and then it'll just essentially go straight across. Like that. And into there. Alright, there we are. And naturally, we will connect those two up. And we could even, as someone did mention, I believe, connect that up so you've got easier access. I think that's a good idea. So we'll pause it for a second while we sort a couple of things out. Obviously, the zoning as well. Clear some zonings and we'll get rid of those. Those ones are actually okay. Back to that, that's fine. And then these ones we will essentially just copy over like so. Probably easier if I go over to the semi-paint tool or whatever it is. It's not the paint tool, it's the clicky drag tool, and you can see it does change. You know what? It probably was easier on that one. Tools are powerful, just picking the right one. Bad workman blames his tools and all of that. We should alter the land, really, actually, to sort this out, because you can see there's not going to be much going along here. So, can we do that? Would it be a good idea? That's a lot of land we're going to have to reduce if we do shrink it down. I mean, if we sort of shrink it back like that. Smoothing, essentially, is what we want. Level terrain to that level. And we'll have it as a fairly big brush and fairly powerful as well. So that is the level we want to set it as. And that should increase it. Look at that. That's giving us a bit more room there. Obviously, it's making it a bit sharper on the other side, but it's not too bad. This road curves down, actually, so the chances are it's not going to be any good. But we'll see what happens. Just have to keep altering the tool. You just set it essentially to the height you want, and it smooths it up, which is actually very, very powerful indeed. I was having a couple of issues back in the day, or even a couple of episodes ago, I think, using this tool, because it was just a little bit dodgy at times, but once I've got the hang of it, it's much better. Right, so that has, there you go, look, generated a lot more space to build on. Sadly, it hasn't generated any more on this side, which I'm very surprised about. You would think there'd be more there. Maybe a little bit more tweaking would be good. Let's just do that and do that. Push all these back, you see. It's not going to demolish the other side. I don't think it can... I don't think it can do that. Yeah, you can see what happens is, if you've got a building on it, it will not delete the building. So, that's understandable. Something you don't want for the majority of your work. It being deleted. I'll raise this side up as well, I think. Let's see if we can get some more on this side. And there we go. Right. I think that's a little bit too high. Sorted. Let's just go back, unpause it, and let's see if it generates again. No! Strangely, look, it does not actually change that. Okay. What we can do then, knowing that we're going to have things like schooling, we could build them around here, because we know that these are not going to be expanded on, but we'll just put the schools right next to each other. And we'll put a university in as well, I think. Where can we put a university, though, is the question. Apparently anywhere around here. That's perfect. Although, to be fair, there's a little bit of subsidence there. The building is going to come down at any moment, I fear. Anyway, that's not too bad. Fire safety is... yeah, it's iffy over this corner. Let's put another fire station there as well. So we've got a crime sorted. Education is pretty much done over there. That's fine. Obviously, all of these will connect over there. We do have buses running up and around, which is good. We don't have any taxi ranks, actually. So we probably should go to taxi and put a couple of taxi ranks in. Just in this corner would be nice as well. We'll put one there. And then we'll put one in, like, there, so they can go over that corner. We will preemptively put one in there. We'll preemptively put one in there. And then over here, just opposite the school, I think. And we'll put one in there because it fits in quite nicely. Excellent! And we also haven't got one around this area where we've got, essentially, the train. So you come out the train, you got the taxi rank, then you can go anywhere else. That's fine. Excellent. Right, so water. We do need to add some water piping, so from here all the way along, like so. You know the deal by now. Let's just make as much as you can. Water availability is, well, and sewage treatment is both a little bit of an issue, so maybe it's time we got another one of these in here. Now, I know there's some people that would probably be asking why are we always putting them around here. There's no real reason. We could always put them there if we wanted to. There's no reason why I've done that. This dam has worked out quite well, as you can see. It's now up to level, and it's also not flowing completely outwards. Could put our jail there. We could put our jail there, but I don't think it would be fantastic. No, I don't think it would be that smart to do that. Anyway, so we've got all of this now connected up with power, so we don't need that anymore. There we are. This one will need to keep that one. We've got that out of power, sadly, but it will eventually get there, because if you can see, it is all designated. So we'll actually have that as commercial, I think. There we are. All of this probably should be commercial as well, but I like keeping the main entranceway open. But then, to be fair, I don't need it. I don't really need it. Congratulations! Excellent. Big city. New 2K by 2K area. Crematorium. Water treatment plant. Okay, that means actually a fairly big couple of changes here. So we need to go to expand, and we need to expand over that side, and we will purchase that piece of land. There we go. The reason we have done that is because now we can go down to this side, and we can look at dam, because we need to raise the water level up probably to about here. Okay, obviously we'll be deleting all of these and doing a lot of changes, but here's the issue. If I get this wrong, it's going to flood the area out. So what I'm going to do is not build it now. Because if I built it now, what would happen if I got it wrong? Well, it would essentially flood out the entire area and everything's bad. I'm going to wait until next episode so when I can actually play around with it. That's what we're going to do. Okay, over to our sewage and stuff, because we do need to sort this out. Sewage treatment plant. And we're going to place 1, 2, 3 of them like so. Obviously we do need to then connect those up with water, and they will go up to that little corner there, and then we will get some energy like so, and then we will delete those 2 here because they are just pumping out waste, which is obviously not something we want at all. Now that should hopefully resolve the issue because they've got settling tanks in there. Obviously, they'll skim off the crud and then do other things with it. Essentially, they won't dump it into the river like we've been doing before. In fact, if we look have a quick look through over to that's garbage. Hang on, where is sewage? It is pollution. Yeah, you can tell where we've been dumping it. It's there, and it's just going all the way around this river. Obviously, pollution around here is quite bad as well because we've got, well, there's a lot of industry and such, which, for some reason, we don't have a great deal of requirement for. I mean, it's doing okay, but there's not many people coming here. I don't know whether it's just far away. Maybe it's because of the distance. What if we get some more metro stations put in? Obviously, we've got a rail line in here, which is fantastic. But if we get a metro station, maybe that would be a good idea. Also, what if we get a level crossing? A level crossing might be a good idea. This would have to be 4-lane road. So there's your level crossing. Oh my good grief, look at that. There's your level crossing and it just drops straight down. Not fantastic that, but you know, it is what it is. Right, let's go over to our railways. Actually, metro station, technically. And we want to put it on that side, don't we? There is a perfect place for it. Okay. Now, is it a good idea to have a loop? I don't know what the best place of... Can you spur it off is the question. Yes, you can. You can spur it off. And then... like that. Okay. There's a line. So one there. We're going to have to get rid of some of these other metro stations. Obviously, that's pissing everybody off because I'm deleting half of it, but... what if... we'll have to go around, really, won't we? Up to there. And around to there. And then... around here is going to be an issue. But whatever. And then around to there. Alright. So metro station will go from... there. To there. To there. And then to there. So it'll do a loop around everywhere. I think that makes sense. Yes, it does. Right, we'll also get some taxi ranks put in, because we don't have any around here. And I think it would be a good idea to do some of those. Essentially, it could be a transport issue around here, which is why not a lot of people going there, which is, you know, adding the taxi ranks and adding other stuff would hopefully work. There's the level crossings there, and as you can see, they are working okay. In fact, there's a lot of traffic now moving past this, which is good. Excellent. There's some demand for industry or offices. Now, I don't know exactly which one it is, but looking at it, it's probably the former. It's probably industry rather than offices, because if we go over to this, we can see that all of these are offices. So, yeah. Maybe it's just because there's not a lot of them. Like you can see the space is a bit small, but I don't know. I'm really not too sure. Anyway, we'll go to high density residential here, and we'll select a lot of these, because as you can see, there's a weird couple of glitches, because the game is the game. It happens sometimes. We just have to manually change all these. There we go. And oh, there we go. Look, these have actually generated bigger areas, which is good. That is most good. What we haven't got is a park, which is never great. Could have a botanical garden. That would be nice. Maybe not, though. Need to get a park that fits in somewhere and doesn't delete everything. That's nice. Nice little park. None over here either. One fits in there. Nice little park on the corner. Excellent. Right. The problem really is money, and the fact that I'm losing a lot of it constantly. I know most people they don't have any problem with me putting money in. Ooh, that's a fire. Yeah, this is part of the new fire district, actually. So, yeah. And what does it make? It makes this is the My Right Bio. Maybe biofuel. Maybe they're doing some experiments. Maybe the building burns down. Nah, I think they're gonna put that out. We've got a fire thing there. I realised as well that that fire is actually backwards, which is what it should be, because when you look in your review mirror, you will see fire. Although, to be fair, I've never truly understood that, because, you know, if you look in your mirror and you see a big red truck with people wearing high-vis jackets and yellow helmets, and it's full of, like, well, depends on where you are in the world, you understand, but in the UK, it's, like, got loads of shutter doors on it, and maybe a ladder, and loads of other piping on it and stuff, and it's blaring sirens at you and trying to go past. You're not going to go, what's that truck for? What's it doing? You're going to go, that's a fire truck. That's obviously wanting to get past to put out and fire or rescue a cat. I should probably move over. You're not going to go, I've heard about these. What are they for? And then you look and it says fire on the front. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, yeah, still problem with industry here. I'm not too sure why. It's just saying, look, no, not enough workers. I don't know whether it is the commute or whether it's the education side, because I know if you get like a certain education level, you get a lot of like high skilled workers that really want to go like in clean hand jobs. Essentially, they don't want to get their hands dirty and stuff like that and do a bit of graft. So yeah, maybe that's what it is, but I'm not really too sure. We've still got a way to come on and off this area here. So although to be fair, I realise that you can come off that ramp and then you go in there, and you can also come off and then in there, but you cannot go back onto it. So maybe we should fix that. Let's go over to here. And we'll go to highways. And your standard... What's it? 3-lane highway is what I want? 3-lane highway. And from here, we want to connect up essentially to there. That's going to be... Essentially, we're going to have to connect up from here to there. So we'll go from this point. Right, we'll spur it off. Freeform road, and there is a... What the hell's that? Oh, it's the power thing for the dam. I was going to say we could make them go across the dam. No, it won't work. Right, let's make this go up. And... It's going to have to delete part of this, but that's not a big problem. So you'll go up to there. And into there. So that's how you get off there. Or you get off into that. Let me just change a couple of things. Let me firstly change the time of day, because I can't see a thing. There we go. And we will go to delete that, and that, and that, and that, and all of this. Okay. And then I will build extra power lines Going down. And across. You might be thinking, why are you going this far? Well, that's because these are never really going to be interrupted as far as I'm aware, so there you go. It's ugly, but it works. So, that goes off onto that one. And we need one that goes onto that. Going onto that, this one here is going to be a nightmare. Although, to be fair, why would you want to go onto this one? The only reason you would go onto that one is if you want to go back into the city. Or you want to go this way. Ah, okay. What we'll have to do then is bring the road underneath, curve it round, and then on before it goes here. Okay. Is this going to be possible? I think it will be. It's just going to be a bit of a nightmare. Maybe we can go from there. I curve it round there. And then under there. Actually, delete that. So from here. Space already occupied for a lot of this. I'm trying to think of the best way of doing this. I want it to go on this road. So maybe round that way. I mean, I'll take any entryways I can get, but like that is... It's not ideal. It's not too bad though. If it wasn't as sharp as that, we'd be alright. There. Then sort of around to there, essentially. Would that does work. And then you can go right round to that side and back on here if you really want. Yeah, not ideal. Oh, damn it, I've made a mistake. On, off, on. You just keep going round. So actually, let's see if it works. Nope, that guy's just lost. He's just done a full loop. Let's follow this guy. So, there they go in the minivan. So that's a family. You know, 2 parents, the 2.3 children stuff, and then they go, on the new road that we've just built. And they're going to take a holiday. Actually, no, I've just realised they've got all their stuff in the back of the car, and they've just, hey, no, don't leave the city, everything's fine. We've got logs and hot dogs and stuff, and lots of crime, and, oh dear, oh dear. Right, that works. This works. It's functional. It's not pretty, I must confess, that is quite sharp, but, you know, it does work. Which is good. Which will hopefully get more industry around here. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Right, so let me just check my... a couple of things. Water availability is actually... Why is water availability low? Water availability. Oh! Oh, right. Okay, I put a sewage outlet there. Right. I wonder how much crap I'm going to get from that in the comments, because that's been there for the last couple of minutes. About 15-20 minutes. So yeah, okay. I can guarantee that there'll be several comments saying, oh, you've done this, why don't you fix it? Well, that's then when the several follow-up comments from everybody else who has watched the episode all the way through goes, yeah, he fixed it, so-and-so, lol. Anyway, you won't believe how many times that happens. Well, you probably would. In terms of money, I am losing a bit of it, so I want to try and up my taxes. Actually, I haven't even set my taxes further up for these things, so they're going to get knocked up a bit. So we'll go to 12% for all of the other zones as well, and that should hopefully give me a little bit of a boost. You can see we're on -5 grand. That's gone to -4.8 now, and per tick that should increase. In fact, let's try set all of the taxes to 13%. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes they will moan moan and complain, but we'll see how it goes. Even if we go in positive for a little bit, we should be alright. You can see there's a budget as well. I haven't actually altered the budget at all. Haven't bothered touching it at all. We could pay off this loan, and that would reduce our deficit. There we go. And yeah, it's paid it back, but as you can see, the deficit's gone right down there. And in terms of policies, we've got power usage, water usage, smoke detectors, and recycling, and all that really helps this thing out. Some people have said, like, I haven't added a district to this area. What's that saying? Are they saying that out of garbage? Oh, that's problematic. Hang on. Let me just check. Are we... Oh, incineration status and landfill usage. Yeah, okay, right, fine. What we need to do is probably add another landfill thing around here, so we'll sort that out next episode. Yeah. People saying we haven't added another district around here. You don't actually need it. Like this riverside, this is a district, but the only reason why I've made it that is because we've got this as a tourism specialization. Everything else is global. So all of these here, hang on, let me just go to that tab. All of these here are global, but if I click on an area, you can then see what like specific areas it has. There you go. So now you know. Right, so it's absolutely pissing down. A lot of oh god, look at all of the horribleness around here. Look at all the trees, they're just going down. We should probably shift this at some point and shift it further away, but I think we're going to leave it there. Next episode, right at the start, we're going to put in a dam across here and hopefully raise the water up and then sort this out a little bit. We will then put a jail in. I think I'm going to go for that thing that I mentioned where we put it like in the middle of a block. We might put it here because it's out of the way, or we could put it here. We'll see how it goes. We'll have to see how the raising and lowering of land works, and then we need to sort out garbage around this area. So not bad at all, progressing on quite nicely. These have got quite high. Look at that. They are quite tall buildings indeed. And what's that one there? That is burnt bean coffee. I'm an instant person myself. I don't bother with the whole fresh coffee stuff. Right, so that's it. I think we'll leave it there. As always, comments in the comments and we will go from there. Progressing on quite nicely. I don't know if we're going to expand over to this side just yet, but I would love to know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.